Hello everyone. So in this video, let us talk about a very common problem that a lot of project managers, project admins, scrum masters face, and that is basically about sprints. Now in Jira, let me give you some context. In Jira software especially, or I should say hey, a scrum board, you may have of course different columns, and depending upon how you configure your board columns, you can expect few things that will or will not work as expected. Now if you talk about a workflow in Jira we have workflow statuses like to do, in progress, and done, closed, cancelled, on hold. Now the thing is, if you look at any Jira workflow, you can have some statuses that are final closure states, right? For example, in my case, I have closed, I have done. I may have a state called as cancelled, right? So this particular state will, of course, appear on the workflow. Now the thing is, you may have a board which is configured to not use one of these states that you have in the workflow, but based on what statuses you have configured in the last column, your issues will get some additional sprints that you don't really want. Now let me explain. I'm trying to give you this background because sometimes you have to basically show these things. Now in my particular case, I have three columns: to do, in progress, done, and I have these two or three unmapped statuses. Now imagine you have a situation where you move the cancelled, you have mapped the cancelled but not closed, right? Or maybe you have mapped closed but not cancelled. Now the thing is, if you go back to your board and if you, let us say, close a sprint. So in this case, I have this sprint where some of these issues are in a particular state that is not really the final state as per the board configuration, because only the states that are mapped to the last column or the rightmost column will be considered as final, or I should say complete. So in this case, for example, you may have 4 issues completed but 3 incomplete issues. Now these 3 incomplete issues could be cancelled that are not mapped to the last column, and when you move it to the next sprint 3, those 3 incomplete issues as per the board configurations, although those 3 issues are probably closed or cancelled, but because you have not mapped those states to your last column, then Jira board will still think that it is pending, and it will so definition of the definition of completion for a Scrum board is those states that are mapped to the rightmost column. We also have resolution, but in this case, usually what happens is when people, new project managers or people, I mean, it's not really about new, but not many people don't really know about it. They have some states in the workflow and they reach out to me, Ravi, we have these 5 issues that are closed or cancelled or rejected, but they keep appearing as incomplete issues on my board. And I keep on moving it to the next state, or I should say the next sprint, because there is no other option. And they are always bothering me because they appear on my board somewhere as incomplete issues. So the reason is that you have to make sure that whatever states you have in the workflow, and if those states are maybe the final closure, then make sure those states are mapped to the final last, or I should say the rightmost column of your board, of your board configuration. So I thought I'll probably give you some background on this so that you can understand. These things are of course not massively clear. I mean, of course you can learn about it if you go to the documentation and if you deeply study each and everything, which is, I know, not really feasible for most of you. And these things will of course once you know how to do this, or once you know how it works, then you know how it works, and then of course it is not a problem. And this is also a lesson for Jira admins or Jira team, because if you are responsible for these things in your organization, basically anyone who is or any Jira admin team or team who actually owns Jira, their responsibility is not to run the tool or keep Jira up and running and do customization and automation. Their responsibility is also to, create awareness about these things, promote best practices, help users with these issues, like day-to-day issues. And of course, there are so many things that you can learn or you should learn if you are thinking of becoming a good Jira admin / consultant / developer. So it is not, to be honest, it is not easy. I mean, of course, if you're doing just a simple Jira admin stuff, and if you don't really want to grow, fine. But usually most people want to grow. They want to learn new things. They want to earn more money. They want to, of course, get better at what they're doing. So you have to basically expand your, skill set, and you have to basically, this is just one example where I talked about how a Scrum board behaves, but you also need to, you also, of course, need to explain it to the users, because these things, I mean, of course, I'm an experienced Jira admin, but even if someone who has experience, they might not know this, and these things will come, of course, along with practice and experience, and of course, getting used to different kind of challenges and use cases. So it will take some time in the beginning. So yeah, I thought I'll probably give some background, and I just wanted to also briefly show you how it works. Like, you need to make sure that if you go to the column, you can map multiple unmapped, right now have closed and escalated. So this may look a bit weird. It is probably fine, because when you're trying to move issues to the last rightmost column, it will give you an idea, or basically it will show you here something like this. It will give you basically these three buckets. Do you want to move it to done or cancelled? Escalated, probably not. It could be escalated, but it depends. So yeah, so this is how you can do things. You can actually move things. The problem is that when you are let us say you move it to done, right? You can't really move it from done to let us say cancel. You have to go back. At least from this view, because you have to open the issue, then you need to, just change the status if there is a transition to cancel, which is there. But you can't really just lift it and then drop it in the right bucket within the same column. You have to move it out and then drag it back, something like that, right? Okay, so that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.